What's going on, guys? Anastasio here with FlytPath.com. Now, these are one of those tests that I normally always do every time I get a new drone. Now, the new DJI Mavic Air 2 is rated for 34 minutes flight time. Now, that flight time is achieved with the drone flying at a very slow pace. That way, it's able to use some sort of momentum while it's flying to hover in place for about 34 minutes. That's not normally the case when you're out there flying. So even though it's not exact science as far as exactly how long you're going to get, because it's really dependent on how hard you fly it, if you're flying in sport mode, things like that will really eat up your battery. But what I like to do is just do a basic hover test. So what I want to do now is put these up in the air. This is the Mavic Air 1, put it up versus the Mavic Air 2. As far as battery cycles, right now the Mavic Air 2 has 5 cycles of charges on them. I was able to get this battery right here. This one has 11 charges. So a little bit more wear on the Mavic Air 1 because of course it's older, but I just want to give you guys some idea of where we're starting from. And if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Anastasio. I do a lot of drone tech tips, tutorials, and product reviews right here on this channel. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing and also hitting that bell to be notified when I post new videos. All right, so just for context too, I have obstacle detection on. That way it's at least able to see the sensors on the bottom are able to detect just a little bit. So just to know that that's on, I did turn off the warning so you're not gonna hear the beeping. And then we also have the APAS on. So just to just so you guys know exactly what is actually on as far as sensors go on the app. All right, so we're still going right now. We are about 9 minutes or so in. We're at 70% battery, and there is some wind. As you can see, kind of see some stuff moving in the background. Actually, you can't really see it here, but there's a bunch of trees and stuff moving. Mavic is moving up and down just a little bit to counter that wind. And just so you guys know, I'm not going to take it all the way down to 0. You normally aren't going to take your batteries down to 0. I'm going to see probably take it down to around that 10% mark. That way it'll be a little bit consistent with the Mavic Air. I'll take the Mavic Air down to about the 10% mark as well. All right, so we're about 22 to 23 minutes of flight time. Right now the battery is at 27%. But what's interesting in the app that I don't see, that I've seen in other apps like the Mavic 2, if you're on the DJI Go 4 app, is that you're not able to change at this point the warning, battery warning. So, on the other apps like the Go 4, if you're flying the Mavic, you're able to change the first warning to be at about whatever you set it to, 20, 30%. And then you can also do an auto land or forced land at another percentage. Right now in this app, I am not seeing it. I believe it will probably be there eventually. It seems like a pretty standard thing to have. So at 20%, I got the first low battery warning, 25 minutes of flight time. So I got my first warning at 20%. So because of the fact that I don't see anywhere in the app at this moment that I'm able to change the warning or the auto land percentage, for now I'm gonna let it go and see what happens when it goes into that second warning. So it gave me the first warning at 20% battery life, and let me see what it does now. If, maybe at 15% it might go into auto landing. So let's see exactly what it's gonna tell me in the app. We're at 15% right now. It's giving me the low battery warning, return to home promptly. And we're at 15%, now 14, and we're at 26 minutes. I'll let it go and it'll just land right here because this is where I took off anyways. And that was a Mavic Air test. Now, as you can see, I was just putting it in a hover state, as well as there was some gusts of wind coming back and forth. So that was the Mavic Air 2. I was able to get an auto land at 9 to 10%, and I was able to get about a little over 28 minutes of hover time. Here we go.
Take off. Point has been updated. Please.
Still gusts of wind just like we had earlier, but the biggest difference here, I'm sure you could probably hear it, is that noise of how the Mavic Air 1 sounds. The way the props spin and the way props are designed, it definitely has that louder type of squeal noise, that higher pitched noise. All right, so we're still going here. We are about almost 7 minutes in as far as flight time goes. Battery life, we are at 55%. Now the one thing that's a little different with the Mavic Air 2 and the Fly app versus the Go 4 app is that here you're able to adjust that low battery warning. Right now the lowest you could go is 15%. So let's see if we can keep this thing up in the air till about that 9 to 10% like we did on the Mavic Air 2. All right, so we're coming up on 17, 16% now, so we're probably gonna see that warning come up. And we are almost at 14 minutes flight time. So we're at 14%, it's gonna beep, and let's see how it does when we get down to 10%. All right, we are at 10%, and it's auto landing now. And there it is. We landed at 9%, the same like we landed the Mavic Air 2, and we got about 14, almost 15 minutes of flight time with the Mavic Air 1. So the Mavic Air 1, like I said, about 14 to 15 minutes at 9%, and the Mavic Air 2 got about 28 minutes. So almost twice the flight time with the new Mavic Air 2. These tests that they rate them for are all done in a controlled environment and, you know, with minimal to no wind, and they're also moving forward a little bit more. But just like all the drones that I've tested before, nothing is really exactly to those specs that they put out there as far as exact numbers go of how long you're gonna be able to stay in the air. But that is a huge jump from the Mavic Air 1 to the Mavic Air 2, getting almost 28 minutes of just some basic hover time. And as you can see in the video, there was some wind that was, you know, giving it both drones some movement in the air. But nice to see, I was able to get almost twice the flight time on the Mavic Air 2 compared to the original Mavic Air 1. Now this is my first flight time test with the Mavic Air 2, but I've done a bunch with the Mavic Air 1 as well as a bunch of other drones like the Mavic Pro Platinum, Mavic 2 Pro, as well as some of the other drones on the market. So make sure you guys check out those videos. I'll leave them above as well as down below in the video description. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos. I have a lot of Mavic Air 2 videos coming out, so make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you guys are interested in this drone. This is Alton Stasio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.